I want to welcome you this morning. Today's session is called Powerful Performance. Our goal today is to share some ideas that will really help you energize yourself on a daily basis and put you in a position where whatever you want to accomplish, you can accomplish. This subject is very, very important to me because over the years, one of the things that I've really had to learn how to do is how to keep myself in the proper state of mind, in the proper consciousness, in the proper energy to do the things that I have to do. And this morning when I woke up and I saw it was pounding rain outside, and I saw the wind blowing like crazy, and I saw the puddles of water, I said none of that matters because this is about powerful performance. So you got to get up every morning prepared for powerful performance. Powerful performance is an interesting subject because it's about getting in touch with what's already there. And everything we talk about here is about getting in touch with what's already there. Powerful performance is producing results at the level of quality and quantity we desire. It's breaking through delays, obstacles, and barriers, and it's living up to the best capabilities in you and getting what you deserve. It's also having the vision, belief, and will to do what is required until you have the outcome you desire. And when you talk about doing what's required for the outcome, it also means that you take responsibility for the outcome. And it's not taking your capabilities for granted, it's using them, understanding them, seeing them, and using them. Also, in understanding that you have the power, you've got to understand that action is required. You don't just sit on the power. You don't just bottle it up. You don't just wait for it to bubble out. You got to take action. You can have electrical power in a building, but until you plug the lights on, you won't see it. Some people think that they're at the same place year after year, decade after decade. Why am I at the same place? What's going on in my life? One of the challenges that we face on a daily basis is understanding that we are in complete control. So why should we focus on this subject of powerful performance? The first thing is that most people are unknowingly focused on uninspired, mediocre performance. Hey, you want to do such and such? Well, I can't be bothered today. Maybe another time. Hey, did you read that book? Oh, man, I haven't had time to read that. You want to go to this place? Oh, I don't feel like being bothered with that today. Focused on uninspired, unmotivated, mediocre performance. We should focus on powerful performance because a conscious, positive decision and effort will overcome environmental negatives and negative peer pressure at all ages. At every age, peer pressure exists. You have to be conscious of this negative peer pressure because it creeps into your life so quickly. No matter where you are, you can do better, be better, and have better, no matter how accomplished you are. I was reading the obituary of Rodney Dangerfield, and I thought it was really interesting. A couple of months ago, he passed away. His career really took off at about age 40. After he had decided to give up comedy and worked as a salesperson for 10 years, and then decided he was going to come back to comedy and try it again. Now, a lot of people would think at 40 years old that that's the end, or certainly the end of a professional career. But 40 is young to start something. I see a couple of people over 40 saying, yeah, that's right. Your age is never too advanced to get started. You're never too advanced to start powerful performance. The other thing I like about powerful performance is that in the face of overwhelming circumstances, you have to have the ability that I'm here to make it happen. And many of you know I spent a lot of years in the sports business, and I've seen teams, professional sports teams, college teams, succeed on the basis of attitude, purely on the basis of attitude. You could have a team that has tremendous talent, but will be convinced that for whatever reason they can't win. And I like to hear some athletes when they interview them and they ask them, well, how do you think the game's going to work out? And every once in a while you have an athlete say, I did not come here to lose. I came here to win. And that has to be your attitude in life. I am here to win. Say that to somebody. You're here to win. Say that to yourself. I'm here to win. Powerful performers, to some people, seem extraordinarily successful. People wonder, what is their secret? How come everything just clicks for these people? How do they get into these opportunities? And most people don't see the work that happens behind the scenes. You've heard it before. Some people are the longest overnight successes you've ever seen. Sometimes people are working 20, 30 years to achieve what they've achieved, and they become very popular, and all of a sudden people wonder, where did this person come from? But powerful performers seem extraordinarily successful, but they are really connected to the spirit within them which drives their effort on a daily basis. We achieve great things and live life the way we want because we're powerful performers. We don't become discouraged by temporary defeat or setbacks. We're confident and we inspire others. We're leaders, role models. We lift our families, our organizations, and our companies to new heights. And we're guided by a silent power. So how does this all happen? I happen to think that one of the things that really guides powerful performance is love. Because so many people who are really successful at what they do love it. I didn't know Betsy wasn't here because I emailed her the notes last night at midnight. Now, I've done that before, but she was here. This time she wasn't here. Before I knew it, I was working on these notes yesterday. It was midnight. I wasn't even thinking about the time or how much was involved or I needed to get rest because I loved it. I love sitting here playing with these ideas and thinking about how to present this concept so that everyone can understand it and appreciate it and embrace it. So that's what powerful performers do. A fellow who worked for me said to me a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about his own career and how successful he is now, he was saying to me that one of the things that was most impressive to him when he came to work for me was that by the time I was 26, I was a vice president in corporate America. And as he was saying this, I started to think about that myself, and I said, wow, that is something when I think about it, because some of the people I run into now who are 26 really shouldn't say that. They should not say they're 26. Some of the people who are 30, 35, 40, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Because a lot of them have not found their way yet. I thought about it and I realized that the reason why I, at 26, was able to achieve what I did was because I loved it. I loved the work. I loved the subject matter. I loved the idea of being able to go into this big corporation and be a part of that. I remember times when I didn't even realize that I spent the entire night in the office because I was so excited about working on a deal or a proposal or something. And before you know it, it was 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And I said, well, I'm here now, I might as well. And someone would come in at 5 in the morning and say, wow, you're really here early. I read a story about Duke Ellington and how he used to go out and perform, and then he'd come home at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he said, I couldn't walk by that piano without tinkling a little bit and playing around with it a little bit. And before you know it, I had Satin Doll. The sun would be coming up. And that's what people do who love what they do. I was watching a video the other day about the guitarist George Benson, one of my favorite guitarists, who has an interesting story because he felt he was not succeeding in the music business as a jazz musician. So he decided in his mid-30s that, well, I'm going to do one more album, and I've signed with Warner, so I'm going to do this album that I've committed to, and maybe with this album I'll be able to buy a house. And that album was Breezing, and it turned out to be the most successful jazz album in history. And that started his career after playing in clubs all his life and never really making any money at it. And he says to this day, even though he is recognized the world over as a master in his instrument, he says, I pick up the guitar every day in practice. He said, because I just love the sound of the guitar. He plays it every day. Bill Gates talks about how he loves computers, loves to play around with computers. And a lot of the developments of Microsoft, against tremendous odds, by the way, are developments that occurred because of his love and the love of all the people who work there for computers. So powerful performers get connected with what they love. And if they don't love everything about what they do, they find something that they love. I cannot fool you and tell you that I used to love commuting down to Wall Street. I said, there's got to be a better way than this. I didn't love that. I didn't love taking the subway down there or driving down there and trying to park, rushing and being sandwiched in with a bunch of people. I didn't love that aspect of it at all. But I love the idea of participating in business at a certain level. So say that with me. Powerful performance is love. So think about that. What do you love? What do you love? How do you achieve powerful performance? Well, the first thing you must do is you must define your positive outcome, your positive result. Now, as many times as we hear this over and over again, do you know that there are people who are working and do not have a definition of the results that they want? They go to work every day. They get up every morning and work. They persist in their endeavors. But they don't have in their mind an outcome. What are you trying to accomplish? What would be your ideal circumstance? What do you want your world to look like? And a lot of people don't do that because they don't think they can achieve it. But the first thing you must do to perform at a high level is to define your outcome. What do I want to achieve today, this month, this year, in my life? What do I want to achieve? And if I'm motivated by something else that someone else has achieved, or something I never thought of, I add it to the list. Wow, wouldn't that be great? I think I told you before, I love the Travel Channel. I can sit all day and watch the Travel Channel because there's no bad news on it. They go from one beautiful hotel to the next one, one beautiful island to the next one great restaurant to the next one luxurious setting to another. And I get so many great ideas watching that. Just motivates me. So define your outcome. The next thing you have to do is study how other successful people do it. We've got the benefit of being in a world where millions of people, billions of people have lived. You don't have to figure it out from scratch. You can figure out how someone else did it. And you can study what they did and you can apply that to your own life. Put together your own plan based on the good success of others. Now, some of these things sound obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't do this. Look at the things you're trying to accomplish in your life and say, have other successful people done it this way? Is this how they've accomplished this? It's okay to be an innovator, it's okay to be a trailblazer, but you should have some connection to the concepts and approaches and ideas that other people have done before you. Sometimes you redecorate and sometimes you rebuild. In my neighborhood, every day I take a walk or run or do something in the neighborhood to get exercise. And I noticed about 3 years ago that a phenomenon was occurring. People were buying houses that were small houses, and they were knocking them down. And they were putting up big mansions. And this is now occurring all over the country. Because what's happening is people are realizing that these very wealthy neighborhoods that are close to the city, or relatively close to the city, that have all the amenities that they want, don't necessarily have the houses that they want. And now as people are making more and more money, they're deciding that, okay, you've got an acre of land here, we could put a much bigger house on this. And so that's what people are doing. On the same land, they're building spectacular homes. So let me ask you this. Have you created in your life a $300,000 house on a $1 million plot? What kind of house should you be building personally? Are you walking around with something that's undervalued? Why are you acting like a starter home when you're a mansion? Your life is your property. So what you must learn to do is build on that property appropriately. If you find that Redecorating doesn't do. Trying to get a better seat at your job, trying to be in a better cubicle, trying to get a window seat, trying to get a better chair, trying to be on a different floor, trying to transfer to an office that's got parking. Rebuild. That's not your only option. Build something better on your property.